Greetings all, this is Shikha with the lecture number 26 on Linux. So, today's lecture, during today's class, we will going to cover the topic how to recover Linux kernel panic error. So, considering this is an important lecture, I recommend you all to watch my entire video so that you will not going to miss any vital information regarding the topic which is Linux kernel. Okay, we will going to cover how we can recover the Linux kernel if it is corrupted or removed. So if you do remember that on my last lecture, I have told you how we can recover the init.ramfs files of the kernel if they get corrupted. Okay, so today's main focus on Vmlinuz file. We will going to check how we can recover these files if these files are get corrupted. How we can recover them. So what's the main topic of today's class is Vmlinuz files if they get corrupted. I have already give you the some or like a sneak peek of the topic called Vmlinuz. I have already give you the overview of these files, like what does these files refer, but today I'm going to tell you in depth. Okay, so for that, watch the entire video very carefully. So let's understand what are these files refer. As we all know, on our kernel, on our boot directory, these files are two. These files are exist in two ways. Vmlinuz is the first one for the main kernel and the second one is for the rescue kernel. If our system doesn't get boot up with the main kernel, we can boot up our machine with the second kernel. That's why the Vmlinuz rescue file also exists. Okay, so basically these files are refer for the Vmlinuz. Like basically Vmlinuz is derived from two words, VM as well as the Linus, these two words. Now let's understand what are these two words refer. VM, this VM word is refer for virtual memory and the Linus word is refer for the compressed Linux kernel. Most of you in the interview as well, some of you asked that what does you mean by the Linux compressed, like compressed Linux kernel. So if someone asks you such kind of question, you need to answer that it is Vmlinuz files. They are also known as Linux compressed Linux kernel. So basically, these files are also known as compressed Linux kernel and it is also known as kernel image too. That is why these are also sometimes most of the people also says VM image. Okay, because these kind of it is similar like the kernel but in a compressed way. Okay, so I hope you understand what are the Vmlinuz file refer and why do we call them image. So let's understand what are the duty of these files. So if I talk about the duty of Vmlinuz files, basically what they do, without Vmlinuz file, we are not able to boot up our machine. These files also play a major role in booting up our machine, because these files pick up the drivers and modules through the init.ramfs files to load into the RAM, and after that our hardware will initialize and our machine will get boot up. So that's why these files are very important in booting up our machine, so that we can pick up the drivers and modules. And if we are not able to pick up the drivers and modules, and our machine will not get boot up. Okay, so I hope you will understand, you will get a better understanding regarding the Vmlinuz files, or should I say the image. Okay, now let's open the VMware workstation for the practical 2. Okay, let's come under the boot directory, cd boot, and then let's check the content. As you can see, there are two files of Vmlinuz is available. One, the below one is for the main kernel, as the version has also been written here, and the second one is for the rescue, and their rescue is also written there. Okay, suppose our main kernel Vmlinuz file, if this file get corrupted or removed, how we can recover that? Because we all know that we need to pick up our drivers and modules to boot up our machine. If these files not exist, how we can pick up the drivers and modules? So that's why we need to know that how we can recover them as well. Okay, suppose first let's corrupt this file. As we all know, in the industry we do get a work over the recovery of the file, but right now we need to corrupt it on our own, then we can recover it. Then we can know how we can recover it for the practical or the lab. Okay, that's why we are corrupting this file. Let's copy it here there from and then paste it here along with rm-rf, which is for delete command, remove. Now let's check the content. As you can see, I have executed command rm-rf and then the file name along with the version. Now by executing ls command, we are able to get the output that our Vmlinuz main kernel file get corrupted. Now we will going to recover it. So for the recovery, let's reboot our machine first. Okay, now let's check is our machine will get boot up with the first kernel or not. As you can see, it is showing the error. Why? Vmlinuz and the version not found. It is not able to find the Vmlinuz file. That's why it is showing the error. If it is able to find that file, it will boot up our machine. So let's boot up the machine with the second kernel and let's check. As the second kernel Vmlinuz file is available, now it will get boot up. So as you can see, it is loading, which means it is booting up with our rescue kernel. So that's how we can boot up our machine. If our main kernel file get deleted or corrupted, we can boot up with the rescue kernel. That's why the rescue kernel also exists. So basically, by if we want to, suppose if we want to download the image or if we want to recover the file, we need to install some packages. In the industry, we have numerous ways we can install the packages. As we all know, when you go in the big industries or the companies, you will able to find that they have already downloaded the many versions of kernel previously. Like in advance, they have installed many versions of the kernel. Why does they installed all the versions of the kernel? Because suppose if one kernel gets corrupted, they don't need to first recover it. They will opt for the second kernel, then after the third kernel, then after the fourth kernel. And sometimes what happens, our application is not supported with the first kernel only. We are able to boot up our machine with the second kernel so that our application will get supported and it will get run. So there are many things and there are many reasons for the many version of the kernel. Okay, so how we can recover the how we can install the packages by many version, like by many things or by many ways. There are many ways we can recover the file by installing the package. The first one is that you need to go to the Google and here you need to download or install the packages according to your updated version. And sometimes what happen, at the low internet area, we do not get the internet connection, and in such type of situation our server will not get boot up, and as the internet is not there, we are not able to install the package. So there could be a reason for that. There is advantage of installing the package like by on the Google. Second way is that we can connect with the Red Hat. If we have taken the Red Hat subscription, we can connect with the Red Hat team and we can say to them like, can we have the, or can you do provide us the package of the kernel which has been corrupted from our side. So they will provide you the package of that kernel. We can do connect with them and they will provide us a platform or the link. There we need to just install the package and boot up our machine. So there are many ways. And the third way is that we can do use. In this way, we do not need to connect with someone, or we do not need any internet connection, or like we do not need to pay something. It is we can say like free of cost. Okay, so in this type of case, the way is that we need to, as we all know, when we install our Linux, while the Linux installation, we do browse our CentOS ISO image and we store it in the CD drive option. So we can attach this CD drive option with our and browse the image, and then we will connect our system with that image. Again, like it, we will do again type of setting, like we have to do some sort of setting by coming under the BIOS setting, and we will do regenerate all the Vmlinuz file. Then we will we need to install the packages by just attaching this our CentOS ISO image on the DVD package again. So that's how we can install the package. I'm going to tell you that. Okay, as we are able to get to know that our machine is able to boot up with the rescue kernel. Let's check it. So let's come under the boot directory and let's check. So as we can see, rescue kernel is here, and it is the file is also exists Vmlinuz file. That's why it is able to boot up. But we need to recover our main kernel Vmlinuz image. So how we can do so? Again, you just need to reboot your machine, and then you need to do this type of setting. You need to attach your ISO image with the CD drive option. Okay, do notice or do check this part, do watch this part very carefully, as this part is very important. Okay, now here we need to power off our machine from here, and then power on again, and then here you need to come under the setting option. Then here you need to attach your ISO image. Browse. Okay, sometimes most of the people's these two option device status are not like checked or clicked on both of the options. Some of the option has been disabled. So you need to enable both of the option, the connected option S2 for the save changes. Okay, so that you will able to change, save the changes, and then press OK. And then we will again boot up our machine with the rescue kernel, as this kernel file is available. Okay. And now we need to execute a command called df-h, so that it will mount like the whatever the changes we have accepted or we have done, it will mount that changes, and we need to go into a directory. Let's understand this by just first rebooting that machine, then we will do the, or then we will execute the commands. Okay, now you need to run the command df-h. It will provide you that it will mount the changes. Okay, now we need to come under this directory, as you can see, this one. Okay, just copy it from here and then write cd and paste this. So do run ls command, and here you need to come under the base os directory, cd, then again run the ls command. Here you need to come under the packages directory. As we can see, we need to install the packages, that's why we are coming here. If you do run the ls command, you will able to find all the packages which we have installed under the package directory. So such type of thing we need to do as well. We need to install the package for our main kernel. So to install the package or recover the file, we need to run the command called rpm. Let's clear the screen first. Okay, so we need to run command rpm -ivh. Okay, rpm-ivh kernel -code. You do not need to write full thing. You just tap the option. Okay, and then here you need to write force. It will automatically take up the word or the version whatever you want to run. So this one we need to do. Okay, and this command we need to execute. So it will install the package. I have used the hyphen force option here, so that it will forcefully install the package. And even if the file exists or not exists, even if the file under the file whatever the data would be available under the file is exist or not exist, it will install the whole package. Okay, so as you can see, the packages is installing. The package installing in process. So your package will be installed in 2 to 3 minutes only. It will not take more time. But when you do corrupt all the Vmlinuz files, suppose your all files of Vmlinuz would be corrupted, then how we can recover it? Now our next thing which we will cover today is that. So we'll do as well how we can recover it if both of them will be corrupted. The rescue one as well as for the main kernel. Okay. Let's first install this package. So our package has been installed, as we have able to check it there. Now when you do come under boot directory, let's first clear the screen. Okay, let's come under the boot directory. You will able to see the Vmlinuz file for the main kernel as well. So as you can see, our package has been installed and our file has also been recovered. Now we reboot our machine with the first kernel. Now it will get boot up. Okay, so that's how we can recover our main kernel Vmlinuz file if it is get corrupted. So now let's boot up our machine with the main kernel. So as we can see, the machine is getting loading, so it means it is getting booting up as the file is available for picking up the drivers and modules. Now I think you are clear with how we can recover the Vmlinuz main kernel file if it is get corrupted. Now we will going to move up with the second thing which I have already told you, that we will going to cover how we can recover both the files if both the files get corrupted. Vmlinuz all files get corrupted, how we can recover them. So let's understand this as well, how we can recover them as well. Okay, so for that we also need to install the packages by just coming under the BIOS setting of the kernel. First, let's make it booting up. So as we can see, the machine has been boot up. Now let's log in with the root user. So let's open the terminal here. So as we are able to recover our file, now we will going to corrupt both of the Vmlinuz file and we will check how we can recover both of them. Okay, so let's run rm-rf and Vmlinuz all data. Okay, so if you do run execute ls command, you will able to get the output where Vmlinuz files will not be available. So that's how we will corrupt them. Now we will reboot our machine and check is our machine will get boot up with both of the file, if like with the rescue kernel or the main kernel. So you will get the output that our machine will not get boot up with any of the kernel image of kernel image. As we can see, there is an error as our Vmlinuz file is not available for the main kernel. Now we will boot up our machine with the rescue kernel to check whether our machine will get boot up with the rescue kernel or not. So it is showing the same thing. It is showing the same error. So when we get such kind of error, now we need to recover these files. So for that, first you need to go under the setting option and do the same thing. It should be both, enable both of the option, connected as well, connected power on, browse your image, open and just press OK button. Now you need to power off your machine. And now you need to come under the BIOS setting of the machine. So when we are able to come under the BIOS setting, now we need to move under the boot directory, and here you need to come CD-ROM drive at the very top by just pressing shift plus button together and just save the changes. Okay, so come under troubleshooting, rescue a CentOS stream system, and here you need to run some of the commands. Here you need to execute some commands for the recovery of the Vmlinuz files. So here you need to press one button for the continue so that we can continue the process. So now press enter and then we need to write come under mnt directory. Do ls and now we need to come under install. Do ls and then need to come under repo. Again ls command and here you need to come under the base os directory. Do run cd base. Again execute ls command and last thing here you need to come under packages directory so that we can install the packages for the kernel. Okay. When we execute ls command we are able to get the output of many packages as we have done in the terminals too. So we are not executing this ls command right now. We are just installing the packages by running the command. So do watch this part very carefully. So for that you need to execute the command rpm-ivh rpm-ivh root equals to /mnt then sys image. Then you need to press space and then here you need to write -- replace packages then kernel --core and the version and last -- force so that it will forcefully install all the packages. So as you can see your packages is being installing and at the last we need to just make a file. We need to create a file under mnt sysimage. Okay. So this is the main thing which we need to do for recovery of our main kernel as well as for the recovery of the rescue kernel Vmlinuz files. So when we execute all these things and we will do all these steps and that's how we are able to recover our both files of Vmlinuz. Just need to cover all the steps one by one. Till the time it is being installing. So our package has been installed. Now we need to execute or create a file touch under mnt sysimage. Then write auto relabel and just exit. So now your machine will get boot up by both of the kernel. Wait for some few seconds. So now let's make it automatic boot up. So just now as our able to see that our machine is again getting booting up, power off it and come under BIOS setting to make the changes. What were the changes before? We need to do the previous changes again. Okay, come under boot directory and here make the hard drive option to be top. Exit save changes and now we will going to boot up our machine with the main kernel. And when you boot up your machine with the second kernel too, it will boot up. Okay, so that's how we need to do the changes and we need to execute some few commands for the recovery of our both files of Vmlinuz. Okay, so we are able to understand how we can recover our main kernel Vmlinuz file and how we can recover both of the files if they get corrupted. Now we will do the last thing for the today's lecture, that if our rescue kernel file will get deleted, so what kind of command would we have to run for the recovery of that file? So let's understand by just getting booting up. So till the time it is booting up, so our machine is getting boot up. Now log in with root. And open the terminal. Okay, now let's come under the boot directory and let's check is our packages is installed or not. As we are clear with that our kernel is get boot up with the main kernel, so our packages has been installed. But let's check by coming under boot directory. Okay, so as we are able to get Vmlinuz both the files, and suppose if our rescue kernel file would get deleted, then how we can recover it? For that you don't need to run anything else. You just need to execute the same command. Suppose it get deleted. Okay, as we can see the rescue file is not available. So for that you don't need to do anything else. You just need to do the same command which we have executed for the main kernel. Come under the directory called cd run in media. Let's run the df-net so that we will able to get that this file, this directory. Here you need to come under copy here and then paste it here. Come under this, paste. Okay, now run execute the ls command, then come under base os directory. Here you need to come under packages. So when you come under this directory, here you need to execute the command. As we have able to see that all the packages has been installed, so that's how we need to do the same thing. Whatever the command we have executed for the main kernel for the recovery of the main file Vmlinuz, so we do the same things: rpm -ivh kernel -core tab and then -force. So it will again generate your or recover your rescue kernel file. So this is the thing which you need to execute, or this is the command which you need to execute for the recovery of your main kernel, or should I say for the recovery of your rescue kernel. So both the command would be same for both the kernel. Okay, and you are able to know that how we can recover both the kernel as well if they both get both the kernel files if they get deleted. Okay, so I hope you are clear with that much. Let's wait for some time. It will get installed in just few minutes. So let's come under boot directory to check is our package has been installed or not. So as we are able to get both the files, so this is the thing which we have to execute or the command. Okay, so I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and if you want to know more about Linux, you want to learn more about Linux, then stay tuned with me and with Technical Cloud Knowledge. And greetings everyone, and thanks for watching.